Hello Sagittarius, welcome to this reading. My name is Zane and we're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Sagittarius for the middle of March. Now Sag, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Now Sag, I do not offer personal readings, so if you get a message from someone, that is not me. That's someone impersonating me. Please do keep that in mind. Please do not get scammed. I also do exclusive content on my Instagram. So if that's your thing, definitely give me a follow there. But with all of that said, let's go ahead and see what we have gone on here for you. Now, if you watch my content regularly, but you have not yet hit the subscribe button, please do consider doing that. It really helps my channel grow in a big way. Same is true if this is just the first time that you are watching me. All right, so let's go ahead and get the cards out here and see what we have. Make sure everything's in view, and then we'll get right into it. All right. And I think that looks just about good enough to me. Energy on the bottom, you have the Fool. Very nice. So the Fool's energy is very welcome for you at this time, Sagittarius. The Fool represents the powerful start of a new journey. And really, this card only comes forward when you're ready, and it's when you're ready to leap forward in a new direction. This represents the beginning of the tarot. And so for me, it's hard to find a more powerful card than the Fool, maybe the Sun, but for me, the Fool is probably the most powerful card because it starts everything off, right? And you know, what's really important for the Fool is that they let go of the attachments. And in fact, they don't really have attachments because there's nothing before it, right? There's nothing before the Fool. The Fool represents this sort of like idea of being a child again, right? When you're first born into the world, you don't have an attachment to anything else, right? Except for the knowledge that maybe you heard in the womb, right? But other than that, you don't really, and you know, we can talk about past lives and whatever, right? But other than that, you basically being a child again is what this idea of the Fool is. Along with this, you know, this can say it may be best to just allow the universe to handle the details for you as you let the journey unfold in front of you, because you know you're going somewhere, but you may not know where you're going yet with the Fool's influence. And it's sort of kind of interesting when you get that. So let's go ahead and put this right here and see what else we have going on here for you. We'll actually put this up there because of the glare, but all right. So let's see what else we have here. So in the middle of the reading, you have the Three of Swords. So this Sagittarius can represent healing, or this can represent heartbreak in some ways, and potentially in the future needing to undergo some sort of healing journey. But right now you may be actually dealing with the actual heartbreak at this time when you get the Three of Swords. And you know, this obviously drums up messages of like relationships ending or divorces maybe even, but this can really be anything that is associated with your heart space. So this can be an argument with a friend, argument with a family member, going your separate ways with a family member or even a friend or anything like that here. When you get the Three of Swords, it can also talk about colleague situations, right? If there's been something that happened between you and a colleague or at work, that stuff can certainly, you know, weigh on your heart space as well. If you've poured your heart into something, if you've poured your soul and all of your energy and your effort into something, this is what the Three of Swords can talk about. And so you may be separating from something here at this time as you go in a new direction with the Fool's energy. And look, the Three of Swords may say like, really try to remove those attachments from your life. For some of you, there may have been a cheating situation. This is not going to be everybody, but you do have a classic combination of that here with the Three of Swords and the Seven of Swords. As well, the Fool can represent, like if you were to reverse the Fool, it would be don't be foolish, right? It could say that somebody's maybe being foolish. And so it really depends on how you look at it. And actually, in the past here, you have the Ace of Wands, the Hermit, and the Queen of Wands. So the Ace of Wands, what I was trying to say here is you have this Ace of Wands, Three of Swords, and Seven of Swords. This is a diagonal, and in this spread, diagonals are directions that you are headed. So the thing is, the Ace of Wands is actually one of my favorite, if not my favorite cards to find in the tarot, but in a negative aspect, which we'll call this a negative aspect, this diagonal, the Ace of Wands can talk about like a quick fling, or it can talk about like what is the promiscuous type of energy, or right, this could be something like that. This could be fling energy, right, Tinder energy. And you know, as you have this with the Three of Swords and the Seven of Swords, this could be absolutely a third-party situation. Threes indicate, you know, unity, trinity, anything like that. That could certainly be happening. But if we're moving away from that, what could be happening here is the Ace of Wands can represent the seed of a business idea. This is about getting inspired, getting passionate, being passionate about something, getting fired up about something, maybe physically starting something. The Hermit is about self-mastery here. You can see their gray beard. You can see that they are sort of wise in that they have this walking cane. They have this lantern here as well, which contains knowledge. They are also within the universe here, and they're kind of on this journey towards becoming a master, or towards acquiring knowledge within the universe, within the cosmos, and taking something to the next level in terms of their knowledge and in terms of their wisdom. But the Hermit can also say that perhaps there may be like a solo energy. Some of you may be single, or may be about to be single here in the future. No, it's not the greatest message, but it is certainly coming forward for some of you here. Lastly, you have this Queen of Wands, which certainly could be your energy. Thing is, I do feel like you're going to be extremely confident and strong if you are dealing with if you're in a challenging scenario here. This Queen of Wands is, you know, the Queen of Wands is about having confidence, but most importantly, the Queen of Wands is somebody who is unequivocally themselves. Okay, you are being asked to be unequivocally Sagittarius here at this time. Don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to play second best or anything, or play second fiddle, or whatever that phrase is. You know, look, you're supposed to, right now, what the cards are saying is really stand in your knowing and stand strong in who you are as a Sagittarius, with this Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands, and Hermit energy. In the current situation, you have the Queen of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Now, for some of you, this situation may not be with a cheating scenario. It could, for some of you, it will be. Okay, for some of you, it will be. For others of you, there is a third person here, which could be a friend. The Queen of Cups can represent a trusted friend or ally. The problem is it's also combined here with this Five of Wands, which can talk about a conflict. You can see the 5 people here on the card sparring. And so this can talk about conflicts brewing. And you have this here with a trusted friend or an ally. And you do have it with a card of deception here. You do have it with a card of heartbreak there as well in the middle. So, you know, not something I love to read about, but definitely something that I feel like I have to say as the reader. And I don't feel like this is coming. I feel like you're dealing with this right now. And so I'm not forecasting this. I'm saying this is probably something you're dealing with whenever you receive this reading. So, you know, yeah, so the thing is, though, whoever kind of emerges from this Five of Wands does get a victory, which is represented by the Six of Wands, which would be the next card. So yeah, definitely feel like that is the case. Now, for other people, this may be the other person, right? We have 3 people here: the Queen of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. There is a third person involved here. Yeah, so that is certainly coming in for some of you. You know, what the Queen of Cups could also be saying, though, is as you deal with this heartbreaking situation, or as you deal with this emotionally charged situation, take care of yourself, okay? Have compassion for yourself, nurture yourself, which is what the Queen of Cups is all about doing. And recognize here with this Queen of Wands, it's okay for you to do that as well. In the future, you have the King of Pentacles, you have the Five of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. So, you know, I spent some time here looking at this diagonal, which is really helping me to lay out this situation. The Seven of Swords is potentially talking about deception in your life, okay? And this can be a major message of cheating when it's combined with the Three of Swords, and especially as we have a conflict here, a friend potentially, and an Ace of Wands type of situation. That's just certainly possible. But on a more positive note, this can talk about, the Seven of Swords can talk about needing to come up with a game plan, needing to create a clever approach to a problem, take the backdoor exit, if you will, when you get the Seven of Swords energy, and come up with some sort of strategy. The Five of Cups in the future, there is a disappointment here in the future, but again, you have this Fool on the bottom, which is really helping to kind of bring this message together. And it's almost like, yeah, there's this challenge, right? There's this situation brewing here with the Three of Swords and the Five of Wands. And yeah, there's disappointment, but the Fool is to me suggesting that you're also about to embark on a grand adventure, or you're about to go in a new direction where you're going to say, you know what, screw it, or whatever. I'm going to just let the universe handle the details. I'm going to go where I need to go, and I'm going to allow everything to kind of unfold. The King of Pentacles, this is potentially an earth sign, but this could also be, the King of Pentacles is about money. This is about somebody who's interested in building their empire. Some of you may be focusing your energies on money and like doing your like financial fitness, if you will. But the King of Pentacles can also say, be careful that you're not doing the same thing day in, day out. Be careful of stubbornness as well. The Fool is not necessarily stubborn. The Fool just kind of goes. And the King of Pentacles may have a tendency to fall into the same old, and be a little bit stubborn. So just something to consider. All right, so let's go ahead and start to clarify. Okay, so you are getting the victory here. You have the Six of Wands. You have the Page of Swords. You have the Moon, emotionally charged situation, and the King of Swords. Okay, so we have 2 kings, 2 queens showing up. So remember how I talked about this Five of Wands. Whoever wins the struggle or wins the battle of the Five of Wands is given the Six of Wands. Ultimately, you will be victorious here, okay? This is certainly being implied. The Six of Wands person is actually being publicly recognized after winning this battle of the Five of Wands here. And so it talks about a big success or a big victory. It talks about exceeding expectations, being victorious, going to new places. And it can be very good for work situations, like if you've been just doing well at work or anything like that. The Moon is potentially an emotionally charged situation, okay? Emotions can be high when you get the Moon energy. And I even use that verbiage when I was talking about this situation, which it feels very emotional for many of you. With the Moon's energy. This could also be a card of deception, especially I'm bringing that message in because you have it here with the Seven of Swords. And so I would say be careful of not being foolish, okay? Be careful of someone else's foolishness as well, especially if there's something you need to be honest with yourself about. You have the Page of Swords, which can represent disappointing news, all right? So I definitely feel like there is a delay, there is a challenge, there is some sort of disappointing news coming in. You have this King of Swords, which is, potentially a lawyer, potentially also somebody who might help you get from point A to point B. This person wouldn't take an emotional interest in you, but they'd really help you out in your career, help you get from point A to point B in some ways. This could also be a Libra, it could be an air sign or something like this here. I actually want to get another card here. So you have the Nine of Cups. So I really like that you got that clarification, because the Nine of Cups can bring about a wish or wish fulfillment in your life. This person is emotionally content and good things are happening for them. So it's a very positive energy to find, especially as you're dealing with this challenge. Again, I think there's a challenge, but you're also embracing it as a new start. Let's see what else you have here. Okay, you have Wealthy Man. You have Community. There's that social circle or that social setting. You have Journey, Main Male, Imprisonment, and Marriage. Yeah, listen, some of you are definitely going through a divorce here, potentially. There is another person involved for some of you. Okay, we've seen it multiple times as we have these we have the 4 court cards, the 2 queens, the 2 kings. Now we have this Wealthy Man, Main Male. Dealing with a masculine potentially, but you also have this situation involving your community or involving another party, involving another person. Yeah, don't love to read about this, but it is absolutely coming in. Imprisonment is you maybe being trapped in a scenario and finding your way out though. I do see you finding your way out. You are undoubtedly going on a new journey as you deal with this challenge here. There's no question about it. Journey, the Fool. And this may be you exploring what it's like to be a little bit single here. Yeah, yep, challenge. That's a Thief and Message of, yeah, no doubt about it. You're going to find something out about somebody, and it may not be great, okay? It may not be great, but at the same time, I do think that this is leading to wish fulfillment, as weird as that sounds. And sometimes that's the way it happens, okay? I'm not saying it has to happen that way always, but sometimes that is the way it happens, so wow. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next reading.